welcome or welcome on back to my channel. My name is Iris and this is my Loc journey. Currently I'm about almost 4.5 years locked at this point, and back in July when I actually turned 4 years locked, I did cut my locks, and that was because there was weakness within my locks in my opinion, and thinning in certain areas, and I just felt like I didn't want to hold on to that. There were remedies that I probably could have done to keep them or hold on to them. I just felt like the overall shit was not giving what I wanted it to give at that time. So I did go ahead and cut them, and I want to say I cut about an inch or so off at that time. It wasn't much because I had already previously been cutting them throughout the year anyway. So it kind of left them, above my shoulders, I want to say, or right at my shoulders is where they were at that time when I did cut them. And since that point, my locks have been pretty much getting better, I would say, but I do have like one or two that are still showing signs of weakness, and I've considered, cutting them, randomly, but on their own. I could have just left them as is and just went on the journey and just left them alone. But, I'm not one that's committed, or, length is nice. I'm not going to tell you it's not, but I feel like I'm one that just like, I don't care too much about the length. I mean, I love the length of my locks right now. I feel like they're at the perfect length on my journey, to do multiple things, but it's not something that I feel like I have to hold on to, if that makes sense. Not sure if I will do an overall cut again. I'm thinking, eventually I will have to just cut off all the bleach parts of my locks at some point, but I'm willing to do it at a slower pace, like, once it grows out to a certain length, maybe here and there cut it or trim it ever so often is what I was thinking. I like length to a certain point, but I don't think I'm somebody that will hold on to it to have a certain look, or, if the feeling comes that it needs to be cut or something needs to be done that drastically with my hair, I'm noticing that I'm all for it. I'm not really willing to hold on to length like that, which I know a lot of people will hold on to length like that when it comes to their hair. But other than that, I've pretty much been not doing much with them, to be honest with you. I know I've been putting out a lot of style videos lately, but other than those videos and those styles, I really haven't been doing much with my hair. It's pretty much down. It pretty much looks like this most of the time. I love a good braid out lately, and that's what I've been doing, or a twist out type of situation where there's texture in my hair. I don't know, I've been feeling the texture look with my locks lately, and it's just grown on me to have them in this state a lot. So once I do my retwist, I kind of just go ahead and braid them up at that time, and then, let it out, and they just kind of fall naturally, and the curls kind of, fall and deplete, as I go through the weeks. And, then I just repeat the same process again once it's time to kind of retwist and, do that, which I do about once a month. So that is pretty much it as far as any, major updates with my hair. So let me go ahead and give you a 360. All right, so now that I'm closer, let me start with the fact that's pretty much the obvious. If you've been following me for a while, I actually have a middle part and not a side part. And I just decided, especially wearing my hair in this state with it being in a textured state, I've been loving the middle part better than the side part lately. And of course, it had to grow on me because I feel like when I tried the middle part when my hair was much shorter, it wasn't something that I actually loved. And now that there's length here and layers, I don't know. There's something about those two things together that have me feeling like I just love the state of my locks when they are like this with the middle part. And to be honest, the compliments I've been getting since I've been putting my middle part with my locks has been a lot. So it must be something that I should have done a long time ago. But like I said, I just wasn't comfortable with how they were looking with the middle part at their shorter stage. So now I'm embracing it at this point. So I did go ahead and color them a dark, I want to say it's like a dark burgundy or dark purplish color. And you probably can't really tell, just looking at it in this lighting or, just off the rip that they are colored in this, my darker area here. But they are, and I think I did it in November last month. So eventually the idea is that I'm going to go purple. So I've been kind of playing with purplish color, if that makes sense. So I've gone from the red to like a deeper reddish burgundy to try to get the purple in there like that. And I'm just experimenting with like different Adore, purple colors on the lighter portion of my hair. Because after I'm done with this red, that's the next color I'm going to experiment with. And eventually I'm thinking after that, then I may go fully black. Now, I don't know if that's going to stay the plan, but that is what I'm thinking. I've been on this roller coaster of colors, which I've been loving each stage of each color I chose to do with my locks. But, eventually I'm thinking I will get to black. It's just, I'm still loving the different colors I'm experiencing right now, and this red is one of them. And like I said, the purple is the next color I'm thinking. So I just went ahead and already got the darker part of my hair, like started with the darker purple color, because eventually, I will dye the lighter portion a purple color, and this back portion here is already kind of a purplish color right now, which is the same color that's on top of here. I added it to the back area here. And other than that, I mean, like I said, they're pretty much doing well. There's maybe like one that's questionable to me at this point, and I think it's this one. This one is kind of giving me the signs that, I may have to let this one go. And it probably doesn't look like that on camera, but when I touch it, it is so weak feeling in this area. And I feel like it's starting to like thin in this area too, because like the hairs feel kind of faint and are looking a little bit more lighter than the rest of the lock, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I may take it off up to here eventually, or who knows. But I decided to leave it alone at this point and see how it progresses on the journey right now. As far as the rest of the hair, I feel like the shape of the hair is still looking nice. The whole entire layered look of the of my locks I'm just in love with in general, and it's just been something I've just been embracing and happy with, and I don't think I will ever want it not to be layered, if that makes sense. So I'm pretty good with keeping it in its layered state like this. So, whatever eventually happens, if I decide to cut it again, I think I will decide to cut it in another layer cut. And I believe there is some length here. Like I said, I think when I cut it, it was probably landing here. Now my hair is, textured right now, so you probably can't see the full length of it, but I feel like about this much has came in as far as length goes, because it wasn't really resting on my shoulders like this. It was kind of coming above my shoulders back then at that point, I feel like. So yeah, it's growing, and I have retained some length here since the cut, which I'm happy about. I do wear her straight here and there, but it's like, I don't know, the textured look to me is just my favorite at this time, so I just keep going with that. And like I said, I keep braiding her after my retwist and just letting her, eventually she'll straighten out to a certain degree, but she'll still have that texture in her, and I just kind of leave it as is, and I love it throughout the month. So I don't really braid it at night or anything. I kind of just leave it, when I take a shower. If it gets wet and it drops even more, I'm okay with that. I just like it in this state so far. So I feel like my bangs have gotten longer. They're starting to almost get to my chin area here, and it's just doing really well at this point, and I'm pretty happy with the decisions I made so far with it, despite, the color situation goes. Like I said, I never thought I was going to stop coloring my locks. I do believe I will continue to do that, since I've already colored the darker part. And then when I did color it, up here, I made sure not to touch this area. So this area hasn't been colored since I bleached it. So I just keep adding on, temporary colors, different shades, just to see, how different shades look with my locks. And since the ends are lighter, I kind of play around with color, through that aspect of it. And, once I go purple and then eventually go black, I feel like it'll be an easy transition, because I know sometimes when you've dealt with so many colors, trying to go back black is kind of hard. You don't want your hair to look green or all these different other colors, when you're trying to get it back to its black state. So that is the plan. Like I said, I don't know if that's going to be foolproof with me. Things usually change and I feel different in a year or so, or a couple months. I never hate my hair or feel like to the point where it needs to be over, if that makes sense. A lot of people I watch have already quit the journey, and I don't know what the future holds, so I can't make promises to you that won't be me too. But for now, it still feels like this is something I'm committed to sticking with. This is something that makes me happy. I like the way I look with locks. I like how they progress, and despite things that have happened, how I've had to cut them and deal with certain things, I'm still okay with the journey. I mean, those are mistakes that I've made and decisions that I made to do with my hair, but that has nothing to do with the fact that this is my favorite natural hair journey regardless. And like I've said many times, this is a spiritual journey for me also. So as long as I'm on those journeys, I feel like the locks are going to be here. So if you were thinking that I was going to leave it, or get rid of them eventually, I don't know. But I could tell you currently right now, it's looking like this is what I'm going to be sticking with for a long time. So that is pretty much it for my 4.5 year loc update. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye, guys.